And now, here are the winners for tonight's game. First for the visitors, from County Gallup. Number 6, Grant Stagelmeyer. Number 7, Chase Covington. Number 12, Tanner Robinson. Number 10, Ryan Berge. Number 11, Dylan Warner. Number 17, Cole Spaulding. Number 18, Matthew Whitty. Number 19, Cole Bishop. Number 22, Ryan Roberts. Number 38, Ethan Idle. And number 29, Booker Gilbert. And now for your starting lineup for the Crusaders. The 5'11" sophomore forward from Lakeside Park, Kentucky. Number 7, Cooper Gascrack. A 5'10" sophomore midfielder from Mother Hills, Kentucky. Number 14, Landon Voss. A 6'2" sophomore defender from Hebron, Kentucky. Number 18, Luke Lure. A 5'10" junior captain midfielder from Burlington, Kentucky. Number 13, Nick Mayer. A 5'9" junior defender from Williamstown, Kentucky. Number 23, Connor List. A 5'9" junior defender from Orlando, Kentucky. Number 6, Noah Baker. A 5'7" junior midfielder from Port Mitchell, Kentucky. Number 10, Ben Karen. A 5'6" junior forward from Florence, Kentucky. Number 15, Max Coble. A 6-foot senior striker from Orlando, Kentucky. Number 12, Dayton Durrett. A 5'11" senior captain midfielder from Mother Hills, Kentucky. Number 9, Logan Voss. And a 6'2" senior captain goalkeeper from Florence, Kentucky. Number 97, Brady Alshon.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to tonight's performance of the St. Henry Crusaders, coming on today for a record of 11-4, head by head coach Jacob Lisler, and the GovCAF Colonels, coming on for a record of 8-7, head coach Jeremy Robertson. So I believe this performance today will be a very close game. Crusaders defense has stood out all year long, but the main thing the Crusaders lack is striking capabilities. What do you think about the whole Crusader striking capabilities issue, and how do you think they can solve that with an elite Colonel defense tonight?
That's actually a very good question. Honestly, I have no idea, but I do believe that they can solve it if they... That's a really good question. I believe if they probably work together, they'll probably find a way.
Can't agree with that more. The way the Crusaders have solved that issue in the past is they really push the ball to their two seniors on the striking capabilities, Logan Soth and Caden Durrett. If they can push the pace, get people downfield faster than the Colonels can get people on defense, I think they can score some points in the fast break today.
You know what? That is probably a good idea.
Max Popel at the midfield, ready to kick it off here. And we are away.
The timer is ticking down as the ball went straight up to the air.
Crusaders getting the ball in their Colonel half, trying to move it up. Crusaders get the ball bobbled. Colonels a little bit of momentum there. Covered by St. Henry. Colonels have it at the midfield, trying to gain possession. Colonels there from going out of bounds. Caden Durrett trying to get it, misses. Kick moves to number 18 for the Colonels. Colonels pushing the pace. 19 retains possession. Still trying to push the pace. Got an open shot here. Kick is denied. by the Henry defense. That will be an out of bounds. Crusaders, Colonels retain possession. Corner kick, Cov Colonels.
Let's see how this plays out.
Really is interesting here. St. Henry defense, spectacular all year long. Headed by senior captain Brady Albichon. Header does not go in, gets kicked out to the side. Crusaders getting the ball out. It'll be a Colonel ball. Colonels throw in. St. Henry leaving the top of the key a little bit open there. Colonels keep possession and recovered by the goalkeeper Brady Albichon.
What a catch.
Brady, top 10 in the state for saves. This defense, top 20 in the state for shutouts. This really is a spectacular defense headed by the senior captain here as he exemplifies another amazing kick to midfield. Miss on the header. Another miss on the header. A bit of a scuffle for it. And the Colonels will get the ball back to try and push the ball upfield. Caden Durrett fighting for it. Caden Durrett passes over. Caden Durrett passes to himself and kick out of bounds. It'll be a Crusader throw in. Durrett passes it off to his teammate for the throw in. For St. Henry, that's what you want to do. You want to get your best striker in there. You don't want to waste him out in the wing. Throw in by Popel. Header by Durrett, kicks back. Colonels pushing pace. Colonels on a 1-on-2 situation. Logan Sauce retains possession, kicks it back to Brady Albichon. Albichon outrunning 19. Kicks it into the Colonels. This is not good here. Colonels pushing pace. Crusaders retain possession. Albichon recovering it again and looks to let his Crusaders get downfield before he boots this one away here. So far, both teams evenly matched. Nobody's really getting downfield with heavy penetration so far as Albichon boots it back away. 32 for the Colonels receives it. They have a fight for it. Crusaders get possession back. And out of bounds. Colonels throw in. Colonels waiting a bit. Almost stolen away. Colonels pushing the pace down the field. Crusaders caught out of space a little bit. 38 pushing towards the goal. Kick over the middle. It is rejected by the Crusaders defense. Not letting Brady get out of place, letting Brady get set up again. That is what this defense is all about. Getting Brady the amount of saves he has because they forced the ball into the middle of the pitch. 38 with a kick on. Albichon way out of there. Kicking for the bleachers there on that one. And Crusaders will be having the ball to move to midfield again. Albichon is going to throw this one in, let his boys get a little bit downfield there. So far, what do you think is the biggest takeaway that the Crusaders need to do to start getting some points on the board and stop letting these runs at their goal happen?
Being honest here, I think the biggest takeaway is that they should probably watch out for the other enemy teammates and to make sure to have like better defense.
I'm going to stop you right there, my friend. As Crusaders heading the pitch, and that is an out of bounds. As you were saying, the Crusaders need to look out for the passers as the Colonels push the pace.
Yeah, it's not really like a great advice, but me personally, I would probably look around my surroundings and try to see if there's any teammates for them to pass around.
And pass around the Crusaders are as they're pushing the pace just a bit. Getting the ball up the middle.
Yeah, that's a great takeaway.
Tabor to Durrett. Durrett kicks back over to number 7. 7 back to Durrett. Tries to dribble through some people, gets all bogged down. And that will be a throw-in, St. Henry, at the 50-yard line. So far, pretty evenly matched. Nobody's really standing out as the superior team like we thought we would see earlier, but see how long this trend lasts. It'll be another free throw-in for the Crusaders. Colonels just trying to stop their momentum, keep getting the ball. Throw over in the middle. Nothing happened. A little bit of some contact there. That'll be a direct on the contact. Be a throw-in for the Colonels. Oh, sorry, forgive me. Free kick for the Colonels. Guys trying to get the ball out of their back pitch. Kicks it one of the defenders. Defenders kicks it to 18. 18's been a big part of this defense. Trying to get the ball away from Crusader strikers. And this will be a recovery by the goalie for the Colonels.
What do you think the Crusaders need to do to try to work around the goalie for the Colonels?
Well, that's a great question. I'm happy you asked that. I think the best way they can combat this goalie, as he booms one way in the sky, the best way they can combat this goalie would be to push the pace with numbers. You have to outnumber Colonels. You really have to spread the ball far. You can only cover so much of the goal. Just keep passing as you get down the field, and hopefully you beat the Colonels so they get back to their defense. Well, one thing the Colonels have struggled on so far this year is beating other teams back. Once they are back and settled into their goal, it's very difficult to score on them, but you just have to out-hustle them and beat them back to their goal.
Out-hustle, and I really like that. That's some great thinking.
So there's to be a foul on the Crusaders. On the Colonels, forgive me, free kick, throw in for the Crusaders. They're way deep, looking for the corner here. And that's forced out of bounds. It'll be somebody's ball, Crusader ball. Colonels just trying to get the kick out of bounds, trying to get the ball out of bounds so they can get the defenders back. That's been their goal tonight. Limit the transition that the Crusaders have as they knock it out of bounds yet again. Limit the transitions that the Crusaders have so that they can get their people back in time. So far, it's been working for them. 0-0 right now with 31:52 left in the half. So, things going on around. I'm going to stop that. 19 on the Colonels, making a breakaway here. And waiting for his teammates. Kicks to 38 in the back pitch. And out of bounds. That'll be a Crusader throw-in. See if the Crusaders can get it out of their back pitch here. Fingers crossed they can start working the offense again. A little bit hair-raising whenever they're back in their own pitch, backed up like this. So some things going on around St. Henry. We have the fall musical going on. It is Shrek the Musical. Fairy Tale of Shrek the Musical. My good friend Luke Daniels is playing Shrek. He's a great actor. You should come by and see that.
I personally know that guy too. He is an amazing.
And the kick on the goal is out of bounds. So close. Albishon leaping into the air and trying to save it, but it is just a bit up, as you were saying. Another thing that's going on around St. Henry is the Crusader football team. Got their first win Friday night against Gallatin County. Final score 22-12.
Wowie zowie.
Caden Cumstick with 250 rushing yards. That places him fifth in the state with 750 yards overall this year so far. Crusaders take on Owen County, fresh off a loss versus Beechwood. Crusaders hoping to secure a playoff spot with one more victory. Playoff spot in their first year truly would be a thing, wouldn't it?
Wouldn't it be? Wouldn't it be?
As Colonel's trying to push possession. A little bit of a trip there.
Let's hope that guy's okay.
Some call it a trip, some call it a flop. I'll let that up to the viewer to see what he believes in it. As the Colonels get a throw-in. 17 for the Colonels throwing the ball in here. And a free kick on the throw. Kicks away, shot on goal.
What a kick.
Shot on goal is saved by Albishon. Crusaders really didn't have anyone back deep to kick it to. They're applying a little bit of pressure. That's tipped. A little bit of trouble here for Covington. They try to just get it back to their goalie and get it out of here. Vader's not applying too much pressure on the goalie kick. As a header by number 1, the Colonels. Max Popel leading the charge. Kicks back. Caden Durrett looking for another score here. Colonels leading the charge here, led by 18. He's just been a facilitator all night long. Brady Albichon diving on the ball.
It was a nice catch. He seems to be proud of it.
Number 18, Chase Flennick on the drive for the Colonels. He's been a facilitator all night long of that offense. They're just trying to get something going on here.
This can be anyone's game. I wonder what will happen next.
As Crusaders, ball goes out of bounds, kicked out by the Colonels.
What do you think needs to happen to make sure they don't get out of bounds ever again?
Well, I don't know if they can avoid getting out of bounds ever again. Getting out of bounds is a big thing in soccer. You need to get the ball out of bounds just to give your people time to get back. As this is fought over. And Sauce boots this one down the field, giving his boys a little bit of time.
What a kick.
There's a reason he's top 25 in the region. Sauce is really the real deal. As Durrett lets it go out of bounds, it will be a throw-in. As Cass Karen subs into the game for Glasgow. Crusaders got the ball in their own ball in the Colonel half, a little bit pinned in here. Be a great momentum booster if they can get a score here. As throw comes over the middle. Header is nothing going on. He's kicked out of there. 11 boots away for Henry, stopped by number 23. 23 pushing pace a little bit.
23 just goes for it, and it's been stopped by their goalie.
A little bit wide. When you're that close, coach yells at you for not taking the opportunity, not taking that shot. You can't hate him for trying. Ball gets booted away yet again. That will be a recovery for Albichon. Let his boys get a little bit back so he can boot this one away like he has before. Albichon also the punter for the football team as he applies the boot to this one. Shows a fair number of the same skills as foul on 18. That'll be Matthew Whittle again.
Infraction on Covington. Free kick to the team.
Whittle, the facilitator, now bouncing them back into their own end. And we'll have Logan Floss kicking this one here from the 40-yard line. See if he tries to go for the goal or go for his own teammate here as he chips it up. Looking for Caden Durrett. Caden Durrett bounces it back towards his goal, hustling to try and pick up the recovery. Durrett flying past Crusaders. A little bit of trouble here. Crusaders defense needs to hustle back. Steal by Durrett. Popel kick over the middle. Colonels retain possession. Move the box out there. 11 with possession for the Colonels. For the Colonels right now, you need to get the ball into the hands of Matthew Will. You need to get the ball into the hands of your facilitator so far this night. He's been the only one that's been pushing the pace of the offense. And just like you saw right there, whenever they do not get the ball in the hands of facilitators, they do not push pace. They keep the ball back. It really is you wondering what their offense is going to look like whenever Whittle has to sub out. As Durrett tries for the header. Be out of bounds. Nope, not out of bounds. No, a miss on the header by Cov Calf. Crusaders beating him out. That'll be, I don't know, being out of bounds for the Colonels. Corner kick for the Colonels. Number 38, on the kick.
Down to 8. Goal kick for the Crew.
That'll be a goal kick for Brady Albichon as he boots this one away. This shot on goal going out of bounds.
Into the Crusaders, number 2, Leo Bowen.
Leo Bowen subbed in.
Landon Fox.
Landon Sauce and Leo Bowen both subbing into the game.
What a kick.
The punt is out and denied by the Colonels. Whittle on the break. Whittle. Nothing going on. Albichon stopped it. Whittle fighting for possession in the corner. His teammates need to do something. He can't facilitate this entire offense on his own. As a little bit of some shoving there by Sauce, but he gets it out of his own goal scotch-free. And ball looks like he may have drifted out of bounds a little bit. Throw in for the Crusaders. Number 7 kicking the ball. Sauce hustling. Sauce moving downfield. Sauce 1-on-1 with the defender. Kicks back to Popel. Popel kick on goal is not good. That'll be out of the back end zone.
You have to admit their dedication. It's going pretty good.
That was really one of their best opportunities to score a goal. As I said before, the best way for the Crusaders to score here will be to push the pace without the Colonels' defense coming back and biting them. Yeah, corner kick. See if they can get a header in here. Get rid of their goose egg on the scoreboard before halftime. As a little bit of roughing by Durrett. Colonels on the break. Poked free by number 6. 6 pushing pace. Looks over to the middle. Real fighting for the ball here. Nobody has possession. Colonel's able to get this one out of here, and that'll be out of bounds. That'll be a throw-in for the Crusaders. A little bit of some shoving matches there by Logan Sauce. Kane Direct goes down to the ground yet again. Hustling for the ball. Kick to Field Mateo is denied by the Colonels. A little bit of a slip there. Going to slip and slide back in the Colonels' end zone if they try and get this one away. Matthew Whittle moving at the goalie and denied.
What a catch.
Denied by the Crusaders defense, not letting Whittle the separation he needs to square up and take a shot at goal. Big kudos to Brady Albichon for squeezing Whittle down. Big kudos to the defense for pinching him. Whenever you have the goalie squeezing you, the defender's pinching on either side, it's hard for you to get a good shot off. Big credit to the Colonels for keeping out of their end zone, keeping out of their back pitch tonight. Big kudos to them. That's something they've struggled with this year, and now they're finally capitalizing on it against a less than powerful Crusaders offense. 7 falls to the ground. A little bit of pushing match there at midfield. Colonel's a very physical team. Haven't been flagged terribly much. Whittle pushing the ball up. Colonels looks to pass over the middle. They just let it happen, and looks like we may have a little bit of a breakaway here. Denied. Breakaway stalled out. Oh, Whittle. There'll be a foul on Matthew Whittle, his second. Yeah, look at that and see if it's card worthy. He threw a Crusader to the ground. What do you think? Do you think that'd be a flagrant or a yellow card worthy play?
Wait, what do I think exactly?
As Crusaders get the kick away. They're just fighting for possession. That will be stay in bounds, and will be out of bounds. Ruling on the field is a Colonel throw-in. Hard to determine possession whenever both of them are fighting over them like that. Colonel just trying to get it out of their back pitch, kicks it up to 8. Who looks to the goalie a little bit. Nope, he will look to Whittle. Whittle's going to try and facilitate that offense a little bit more safe from going out of bounds. Whittle pushing pace just a bit and boots it way down there. Fighting for possession. Sauce gets it out of there. Crusaders win the header. Down to the ground goes another Crusader. They're dropping like flies today. They need to stay on their feet if they want to keep winning. They want to keep getting their chances of winning. Be out of bounds. Colonels kicked it just a bit over their own teammate's head. Be a throw-in for the Crusaders. Subs coming in. One thing for the Crusaders you have to love about their team is how deep their bench is. They have seniors that can come in off the bench whenever and come play, give quality minutes while the starters get their rest, and they can come in healthy and fully recuperated. One of the biggest Crusader advantages. Their bench is very deep, very talented.
I guess you can say they're always really prepared. Prepared to see what's stopping them and what's starting them.
As Colonel's getting a little bit of a push here. Felix Mateo catching up to him. Turning him back outside, looking for the kick inside. Denied by the Crusader defense. I mentioned that before. The defense is very strong. They do not let you get very close. If you get very close, you have a good shot at scoring, but you have to get close. That's something that a lot of teams fail to do. Exemplified here is that is out of bounds or not. Fought over, and it will be
Out of bounds.
Colonel ball. Colonel corner kick. Nick Mayer coming in. And Chase Black. Colonel's opting for the free kick. Or the throw-in, forgive me. They throw it to Whittle. Whittle's looking for the kick. And nothing going on. That'll end up being a Covington Catholic handball. Can't be doing that. Basic mistake. Sauce boots this one. A little bit of a line drive angle. Not exactly a goalie kick, a little more of a line drive. Get it back to Albashon. Albashon kicks over to his back fielder. A little bit of trouble trying to get it out of their own end. And they end up getting out of their end just fine. Kick to the goalie. Goalie puts foot on it. And trying to force it to 38 here. They're just not letting it happen. Some problems trying to get it over midfield. Colonels struggling to keep it off of their end right now. They were doing a good job at that earlier, but something may have fallen apart in their roster. Or whoever they were doing, whatever they were doing, obviously is not working as well. They're getting a lot of pressure on their goalie. A lot of kicks to their goalie. The goalie needs to then return and try and get it back over midfield, which is not happening very well. Kudos to the Crusaders for the pressure they're applying before they reach midfield. The Crusader ball. Crusader throw in.
And for the Crusaders, number 12, Caden Garrett.
Durrett out of the game. One of their strikers, one of their best strikers. Hitting the ground.
What if
Down the crew. Free kick to the Colonel.
Big Colonel free kick at the 21-yard line. 22.
So what should you think the Crusaders should do to get at least close to the goalie?
Well, so far the Crusaders have gotten very close to getting penetration. They've gotten penetration several times. I think if you keep trying, keep hacking away at the tree, eventually that tree is going to fall down. I think right now they don't need to change very much. Soccer's a very low-scoring game. If you keep hacking at that tree, if you're hatchet, eventually that tree is going to come down. They're getting shots on goal. They're getting pressure. Those are the two things the Crusaders want. They're not necessarily an offensive-oriented team. If they get one, maybe two on you, They're going to rely on their defense to make sure you don't get one or two at all. They're not going to put up those high-scoring games. They're going to make sure you don't score at all.
That's some words of wisdom right there. What do you think about the offense then?
The offense has struggled throughout the year. They've not been nearly what we thought they were going to be in the first few games. But they're definitely not bland. They're not a dull offense. They're a very fast offense. They will push the ball down the field faster than you can get back. That is their one goal of how they can really produce. In these bogged up situations, they really struggle in getting accurate shots on goal like that as it sails way over the head. On Friday night, we'd say that field goal is good from the 10-yard line, but wrong football.
It was pretty close to the goal, but a bit too far.
Senior-led senior section down there. I see some football players. Charlie Irwin down there leading the student section.
They have team spirit. You have to admit that.
So you're in the musical. Tell me a little bit about the musical and how you guys are really preparing for to put on a show.
Well, I'm glad you asked. Basically,
That is a foul. Yellow card presented to Covington Catholic.
That's not good. That's not good.
Now the question is number 8. 8 on the Colonels. That is Tanner Robinson, the senior. Hate to see your senior getting a yellow card. That's not the maturity you want from an upperclassman.
I'm pretty sure getting a yellow card at all is not the greatest thing to have.
It'll be a kick for number 9 for the Crusaders.
And the crew, number 7.
Will this kick be worth it?
Sauce kicking. Nope. It's not Sauce. Sauce bumps out. Coming into it will be number 7 for the Crusaders. Cooper Gastright looking for the kick. Gastright.
Cleaning out some parts, learning lines, and then we really have a fairy tale to show. And if you are interested in seeing the Shrek musical, go to St. Henry District High School in November 21st, 22nd, and the 23rd.
Very well said. That is out of bounds for the Colonels. Crusaders throwing. So over the middle. By the way, Colonels trying to keep it out of their back pitch. Not working terribly well. As shot on goal is denied. Colonels goalie really trying to just keep it away. Colonels goalie is doing a good job of collecting the ball and getting it out of his own back pitch, while his defense really let him down so far. At the drive by knocked away. Matthew Whittle again, impact player for the Colonels, knocking that ball out.
This can be anyone's game in the next 10 minutes and 30 seconds.
As Crusaders pushing pitch. Play blown dead.
Foul on St. Henry.
St. Henry foul.
Free kick to Covington Catholic.
Covington Catholic kicks from the 40-yard line. About 39 as it rolls forward just a bit. They just get in position. Sauce up just a bit, standing at the 31-yard line. They're trying to kick it to anyone close. See how this one ends out. Shot on goal, denied by the Crusaders.
You were right. The defense is really good on the Crusaders.
A little bit of contact there. Batted away by number 6, making sure they can get players into position. Right now, if you're the Crusaders, you do not want them getting momentum. You want that ball going out of bounds as much as possible. Keep letting you reset until you get lucky and get that turnover.
Number 10, Ryan Purdy. Number 24, Charlie Baker.
Charlie Baker up the kick. Baker, a sophomore. Kick over the middle, headed. Crusaders pushing pace. A little bit of action here.
Going for it.
And nothing. Way out of there. Number 8, Tanner Robinson again. We've seen Robinson a little bit tonight. Not always in the glory side of the stat sheet. He got a yellow card earlier. A lot of yellow cards you can play off as playing hard, and I think the one before you can just write off as just playing hard. No malicious intent. That's the reason the red card is not distributed. Over the middle. Albashon, a little bit risky. Don't want to throw your body out there unless you got possession of it. Normally he knows better.
And thankfully that was not a goal.
Albashon squaring up, waiting for his boys to get down there just a bit. One thing Crusaders doing very well is getting the ball to the half-field line. Once you get it to the half-field line, you need to rely on your offense to push it up and not let it go back. As it'll be out of bounds, corner kick for not entirely sure who. Will end up being Crusader ball, I believe. Crusader throwing. Colonel, possession, Colonel's pushing up. Pace, Crusaders trying to just get it out of there. So, homecoming game this Thursday. What do you think about all the homecoming spirit around this school getting ready for their game on Thursday that could potentially send the Crusaders to the playoffs?
This homecoming spirit, not gonna lie, it's when you go to St. Henry, it's like it's going into a concert that it's very loud and it hurts your ears, but you have to love it. I think the amount of encouragement and St. Henry's spirit we have, I think the crew will do really good on Thursday and the homecoming game. And if you'd like to go there, you shall.
Well, fingers crossed. Game on Thursday is at 7 o'clock. Playing Owen County, fresh off our loss to Beechwood. You can either call it a loss, you could also call it a walloping, as they lose 42-6. Crusaders have lost by worse, though. As this is Albashon's kick at the goal line. Almost 6 minutes left in the game. So far, what is your biggest takeaway about why both teams haven't started piling on the points, even piling on the penetration so far?
Wait, so my biggest takeaway on what exactly?
Your biggest takeaway on why the Crusaders haven't really started piling on the points and what they can do better to start making their offense more effective, as that is a foul on number 7. He'll be distributed a yellow card.
Like mentioned earlier, a yellow card is never good.
You can't be doing that. If you're a sophomore, you're fighting for your varsity playing time. That's not a way you get your varsity playing time. As Gastrite seems to be heading over to the bench for a sub. And a sub he will get, Landon Soft's coming in for Gastrite. Not too happy with Gastrite on the bench there. Gastrite, not a bad player at all. He's just young and not what you want to see in one of your developing players, out of your future of the franchise.
What a catch from the goalie.
Gastrite always accredited to be a very spirited player. He always tries very hard to execute his role as best he could. He's not one of those players who go out looking for contact. I think that just tended to happen. He tried to help his own guy up after he hit him down to the ground. To show the type of virtue we have at St. Henry.
We gotta respect him for that, obviously.
Header over the middle. Crusaders retain possession. Possession fought for and won by the Colonels, trying to get out of their end zone. And they do end up getting it out by kickback by Sauce.
This can be anyone's game.
Colonel's back line has done fairly well so far. Their front defense has not been amazing, but their back line has always made sure to stay back, stay level, and create a sort of wall to stop penetration from coming in.
Checking in for the crew, number 7, Cooper Gastrite.
Gastrite coming back into the game after his yellow card. Person like Gastrite, you can't afford to have him off the pitch for too long. There'll be a stern talking to on the sidelines, and then it's back in the game, start getting our offense pumping again. Out of bounds, it'll be a Crusader throw in. Thrown by the Crusaders, headed in and denied by the Colonels. Playing a little bit of keep away from the ground here as the ball finally hits the ground. Shot on goal is intercepted. Not the shot you want to be looking for more of the drive shots, not little pop-ups. Ball is batted away by Jarrett. Jarrett not letting them get too much separation there.
3 minutes in, it can be anyone's game. What do you think the Crusaders need to do to get at least one goal?
As that is another flag. Oh, flag foul, forgive me. And the Colonel seems to be down a little bit. Number 6, that is the senior. Grant Stiegelmeyer, you don't want to see him hurting a little bit of a limp. Though seems to be walking it off just fine. Oh, not good to see at the backyard line. Crusader appears to be down. 15, the junior Max Pope, down to one knee. Was trying to stand up, couldn't quite walk. Athletic trainer coming out to examine him.
Let's hope he's doing okay.
As Pope's walked to the sideline, he seems to be walking just fine. Maybe a little bit of cramped. You never know. On a night like tonight, not hydrating can definitely be a source of your cramping. Craft wanted a flag, wanted a card for an infraction earlier, didn't seem to get it, and fans a bit irritated over that.
Checking in for the crew, number 2, Leo Bowen.
Leo Bowen checks in for the Crusaders.
County Catholic High School, number 16, Leo Dias.
And Leo Dias checking in for the Crusaders. Colonels, forgive me. It'll be a Crusader kick. Crusader throw-in. Pardon. As Pope seems to be up walking around back on the sidelines. Doesn't seem to be too hurt down there. Getting some ice by the trainer. Alpashot boots it to the 40-yard line. Colonel's trying to push a little bit of pace here, get some offense in the last few minutes. Crusaders just keeping it out of their end zone. They want to get out of this half scot-free like they have so far. As Colonel's pushing a little bit of pace here. Nobody's quite downfield in time, so he's going to turn it. And to make a decision to get it out of bounds for a Colonel throw-in, let the Colonels get their men downfield. Not quite the decision there, but he made it.
This can be anyone's game. What do you think the Crusaders need to do to get at least 1 point in the last 1 minute?
Well, it's a little bit difficult to get 1 point in 1 minute, but what they need to do is they need to start making those long passes. Really, there is nothing to lose right now. You get your goalie up, and you just mainly just try and push numbers as much as you can. There'll be a throw-in for the Crusaders and their own half, and they'll try and get it into Colonel territory. That was battered away by the defense. Kick coming over the middle. It'll be out of bounds. Crusaders touched it last. Free kick for the Colonels. Through the middle. Albachon having a dive on that one. And Albachon's just going to eat this one as we go into the half. 0-0 as the half ends. Crusaders playing mediocre ball. They're not playing amazing. They're not playing horrible. They're just playing on par with the team they should not be playing on par with. In the stat sheets, the Crusaders are better than the Colonels. They should not be playing on par with this team. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we will cut to advertisements now. We will see you back here in 10 minutes as we will kick off the second half. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. All right, everybody, welcome back to some Crusader Soccer. My name's Ian. This is Logan, and
Howdy.
first half ended a little bit scrummy, with some less than neat play, one could say. A lot of hands, a lot of cards going up in the air. Definitely not the way the Crusaders like to play the game. They normally are a very clean team. Not too sure what's happening down there right now.
There was a lot of fouls, and people were playing some yellow cards, and they weren't playing Uno.
As Crusaders pushing pace a little bit. Forgive me, they're not pushing pace, they're getting pushed as they get it out of their back. Sides flop just a bit. Ball at midfield. So far, this game has been a fairly physical game. Not as many cards or fouls called as you would think there would be with how physical this game has been. Crusaders, as Colonels get a shot on goal, it's way wide. Crusaders developed from more of a wing offense to a more narrow, straight up, down the pipe offense around halfway, 3/4 way through the first half. Now, Logan, why would you think a team like the Crusaders, who is already struggling on offense, would want to change their offensive game plan halfway through?
Now wait, can you repeat the question?
Why would a team like the Crusaders, who has notoriously struggled with the up front offense, who needs that direct gas-right duo flanking the corners, why would they want to switch as that is a kick in by the Crusaders out of bounds? Crusader ball.
Well, I think they're trying to figure out some new different patterns or strategies, and to see if they can trick the people from Covington to, like, I don't know, maybe like go inside their brains a bit, but I'm not really sure. I'm just as confused as you are.
Now, tricking a Covington Colonel isn't that hard, but the Crusaders seem to be attempting to do that right now as they attempt to get the ball out of their own end. Kicking the ball out, and that will be inbounds. Kick over to the Colonels, trying to push pace just a little bit. They don't have numbers, they have equal or less to the Crusaders right now. Getting a little bit handsy there on the interior, trying to make a break inside. Kick is blown dead. Be offside on the Colonels.
Let's hope things don't get too physical around here. I did not sign up for a wrestle fight.
Neither did I, Logan, as the ball is placed at the 10-yard line. Offsides is the call. Big old kick. Pins them back a little bit as that's recovered by the Crusaders. Forgive me about the Colonels. They push pace just a little bit, getting the ball upfield. Taken by the Crusaders. Driving in. A little bit chippy there. No flags or fouls called. Moving pace up to 30, the 20. The 10, he's got to cut it back inside. Does not cut it inside. Kicks into the face of the Crusader. One thing I've noticed about the Colonels' offense is they're getting too wide. They're not narrowing quite enough. They get level to the goal. Once you're level to the goal, it's very difficult to make a score. You need to stay vertical. And that's what, if I'm the Colonel, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to stay vertical. I'm trying to get to attack angles. I'm not going flat like they have so far. They over pursue to behind the goal or equal to the goal, where the defense can just pinch in on them and make them get the ball out of bounds or make them just punch it away. So, Logan, our first Crusader news segment was broadcasted earlier this year. What did you think about that?
What I think it was actually pretty good. What I've heard is, wait a minute, that's
As that is a foul on St. Henry. Yes, that is a foul on St. Henry. Fans are not very pleased about it.
Yeah.
But no cards were displayed.
I see.
Not too sure what the referee saw there.
I wonder what he is thinking about right now.
kick is away, trying to get it into his teammates. Another Crusader goes down in the middle of the pile. Open hands, he's swing and a miss by 11 for the Colonels at the throw-in. 11 keeps possession. As that will be a kick throw-in for Gastrite. Gastrite gets it out of there. Another shot on goal, little bit off.
What a close shot.
Crusaders definitely getting shots on goal, not a ton of accurate shots on goal, but the shots are definitely there. Goalie to keeper to boot it away. High into the Erlanger sky. Ball gets deep into the Crusader back zone. A little bit of some Colonels will try to make a push there to outrun Crusaders to get possession of the ball. Is not successful. Oh, there's been miscommunication there by the Crusaders that will lead to a pass backfield. Crisis averted for the Crusaders. Defense needs to step up a little bit. They're getting too many passes back in the backfield. Need to keep the ball on the Colonel midline. They did it very well earlier in the game. Something has changed from the Colonel's point of view, from the Colonel's side or the Crusader side, that's prevented them from keeping the ball on the Colonel's side of the field. Now, Logan, from your observations, what do you really think has changed so far from each team's point of attack with 32:50 left in the half, and what do you think they need to do to come out with victory?
Well, me personally, I can definitely tell a bit of a difference. I don't really know how to describe it, but in the best of my ability, I think they are a bit more determined than the first half of the game, because it's still 0-0, and I think what I'm thinking about right now is I'm trying to get into their thoughts. I think they're thinking, if I can get to a 0-1.
I want to stop you right there, Logan. As the Colonels, that play is blown dead. Offsides is call. Forgive me, foul on Covington Catholic. On the free kick. Well, I was going to say both teams are playing a little bit smarter, but that last play would have disagreed with my statement, as the Colonel's still playing a little bit reckless there.
I think they're trying to get a bit more desperate to the team, and which I understand.
It's a kick in the middle. There's bobbling for it. A little bit of scrum in the middle there. Crusaders need to just keep the ball, just keep this going. Do not let them keep pushing you back. Do not let them get the possession of the ball and possession of the offense. Keep it on their zone and keep the pressure coming. If you swing the axe enough, the tree is going to fall eventually. And if that is Whitty, getting the ball down. Whitty, little bit of contact there. No foul for Whitty. That'll be a Crusaders throwing. Sorry, forgive me, Colonel throwing. Corner kick, actually.
Now, going to the topic of crew news, I know I have my opinion on it, but correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't it the first time y'all brought it back this year?
This is the first time in a long time we've brought the Crusader news back. We had it my freshman year. That would have been 2022. We had it my freshman year, and it seemingly died out. And then now it's great to see my senior year some things coming back that I've missed that I was definitely not happy to see go.
Yeah. It's beautiful to see that a project that can die down can come back to life. And in my personal opinion about the crew news, I actually really enjoyed it. I think it's great that they share what's the events happening around the school, and I think it will be pretty entertaining. And I'm sure you feel the same way as I do.
I do. Speaking of things coming back, last Friday, the class of 1985 had their 25-year anniversary at our football game. Congratulations to them for 25 years graduating St. Henry.
Congratulations.
As that is a kick out of bounds.
Out of bounds indeed.
Whirling will be a Colonel throw-in.
Checking in with the crew, number 5, Cass Karen. Number 10, Finn Karen. Number 16, Charlie Ramsey.
Cass and Finn Karen come back into the game.
And checking in with the Colonels, number 9, Brady Dalton.
Brady Dalton checks in for the throw-in. Throws over the middle. Pass is complete as it is back to Dalton. Dalton's shot on goal is not there. Bounces into the arms of Albashon. Really, the Colonels have not hit any effective pressures or shots on goal. All of their shots have been back probably 10 yards, 20 yards-ish, and have just been easy saves for our keeper.
And that's out of bounds. Out of bounds for the Crusaders.
Just about 29 minutes left in the half. Score is still 0-0. They kick over the middle, swing and a miss by the Crusaders. Whitty pushing pace a little bit. Whitty kicking to number 9. Crusaders looking just to play some good defense here. Don't do any dumb fouls, don't get any cards, and just play your game like you know how to play it.
Play the game like soccer, not go fish.
As that is kicked out by Crusaders, preventing the motion in the back. So now Colonels are going to have to get it back over the middle, which that means throwing it into the sea of red. See if one of us can come up with it. Fights for it. A little bit of some hands there. Nothing comes. Albashon!
And that's a score.
Albashon misses on the dive. That is Karis on the score. Score is now 1-0 with 27:35 left. Colonels really trying to push the pace. They ended up getting the ball into the middle, spreading Albashon and getting that header into the goal. That's something the Colonels have struggled with all night. It's good to see them finally succeeding on that, getting a 1-0 lead on the Crusaders. The way Crusaders' offense has looked, you got to wonder, Logan, can the Crusaders come back from this? Can they score in enough time to score 2 points and let their defense hold them? Their defense held them so far. Do you think, Logan, their defense can continue to hold them? And also, can their offense score 2 points here?
Well, it actually depends. Anything can happen at this point. There could be either like 10 fouls, a couple cards, or many more. But I think there's a slight chance that the offenders can make the score 2-1.
Has to kick in the goal, captured by the goalie.
I was about to say that.
Keeper that's rolled. Crusaders trying to pinch it off. No foul there. Durrett keeping the ball in bounds. Good play by the Crusaders, keeping the play alive. Whitty getting a little bit physical with the Crusaders. Slide tackle, incomplete. Button pushing the pace. Defenders everywhere. Colonels have numbers. Kick over the middle is incomplete. Back to Crusaders. Colonels keeping the ball at the top of the key. Pushing the ball down. Nothing seems to be happening here. A little bit of slide to try and save the ball from going out of bounds. Unsuccessful attempt. Instead of an Albashon throw-in. The biggest thing for Brady Albashon right now is to remember that you are one of the best goalies in Kentucky, saves-wise. And since you gave up one goal, that does not change that. You need to keep your confidence high, and you cannot get down. The second you get down, you've already lost the game in a game like soccer.
That is true. The only advice I can get is to not get too desperate. The more desperate you get, the more, let me just say, have energy and aggressiveness you have inside the mind.
Right now, some aggressiveness would not be the bane of the Crusaders' existence. They're just getting bullied at the midfield line.
Foul approved. Free kick to the
Crusaders
Colonels.
need to match the Colonel's physicality. The refs are not calling terribly much tonight. They need to get physical. They cannot play the game hoping the refs will play the game for them. They need to get physical, box out, and get some bodies out there. It'll be a kick for the Colonels. Colonels kicking over the middle. Nothing seems to be happening there. Colonel gets the ball top the key, trying to get it in there. Crusaders have numbers. Getting the ball out of there. Saved by Albashon. Batted down into the kicking radius of another defender who tries to get the ball out, and he does. It'll be a Colonel throw-in. The Crusaders have to get the ball out of their back zone if they want to score points. This is not the way they can score points by simply keeping the ball at bay. Need to push the offense. 24-26 left in the half. Colonel's leading 1-0. Take over the middle. Crusaders moving the ball up. Nothing happening if the Colonels move it back over their yard line. Gonna be out of bounds. Crusader ball. Crusader throwing.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong on this. I realized that the Crusaders have a bit more of a defensive side, and the Colonels have a bit more offensive side of this.
7 goes down.
Foul the Colonels.
Now,
Free kick to the Crew.
what you said is not entirely wrong necessarily, but the Colonel's offense has produced this game, but the defense really needs to step up more. So far, the Crusaders are playing, in my opinion, pretty flat. They're not getting the penetration that you would want from a state championship level team that the Crusaders are. If they come out and play flat like this against some of the Coopers, the Connors, the Riles, the Highlands, some of the teams from Lexington, they're just simply not going to perform. This is not the team we've seen earlier in the year. You have to start wondering what is going on. What's going on underneath the hood here? And can they fix it, Logan?
Number 18, Luke.
Well,
Luber
I've-
checked in. Shot on goal. Up and into the goalie's hands. Colonel's goal had been pretty solid today. Not too many mistakes. Crusaders haven't really put too much pressure on him with the line drive shots they need. A little bit physical on the header there. No foul call. Crusaders got numbers. They cannot wait. They have to push. And they cannot do that either. You cannot just be giving the ball to a goalie, especially at this point in the game with 22 left in the match. You have to be pushing. You have to get a goal here in the next 10 minutes if you want to compete in this game, in my opinion.
Yeah, I see. Do you think the Crusaders can come back from this and probably get their head in the game? If so, how do you think they can come back?
Well, how they think they can come back is very simple. It's a very simple formula. Scoring points. That's something the Crusaders have not done. They have not gotten effective shots on goal, in my opinion. They have just played flat so far. Now, what they can do to change that is they can start, they can transition back, in my opinion, to their wing offense as they came into this game. They came into this game, they got more shots on goal, more effective shots. They were somewhat dominating this first part of the game. Now, in my opinion, the changing back to the up-front offense has been what's limiting them, not getting Jarrett the ball as much, coming up the field from the ball from the underclassmen. Right now, at this point of the season, you have to give the ball to your seniors, the guys who know what to do, the guys who know how to score the ball.
That's a nice way to think of that. That's a nice way to think of that.
Throw over the middle. Header incomplete. Leo Bowen. Kick to Carr. Over the middle. Batted away. Colonel defense really stepped it up recently in this half, not letting too many attempts go in the middle. This might be something here. That is so close to a pass. Intercepted by the Crusaders. A little bit scrappy. Nothing called. Be a Colonel throw-in.
Checking in the Colonels, number 11, Dylan Warner. And number 19, Cole Bishop.
You do kind of have to credit the referees for just letting these boys play, especially in a heated game like this, versus two teams that simply put do not like each other. You have to let these boys play, and the more you limit the game, in my opinion, the more you limit their performance. It's kicked over the middle. But obviously still retaining player safety, and they've showed that several times with the usage of the yellow card against both teams.
Checking in for St. Henry, number 13, Nick Mayer.
Nick Mayer checking in for the Crusaders. Crusaders throwing. Throws to Colonel numbers. And Crusaders attempt to retain possession. Kicks to the perimeter. And nothing happening. Colonel's trying to get the ball out of their half. Play is blown dead on a handball.
Great kick for the Crusaders.
Second handball on the Colonels for the night.
Yeah, me personally, I do not play soccer, but I do not think handballs are allowed in soccer.
Crusaders get ready for a kick with sauce. It's an amazing time for them to finally get some offense going. Free kick. Over the middle, nothing. Swing and a miss. And that will end up being out of bounds. That'll be a Colonel throw-in. 6 on the Colonels. Throwing over the middle. Be a kick out of bounds. So Henry will gain possession of that in their own half.
Checking in for St. Henry, number 7, Cooper Gastrite.
Gastrite checking back in for St. Henry.
Chase Kosinski.
Kokinski checking in for the Colonels. Popped way up and way out of bounds. That'll be a Crusader throwing at the 31-yard line. Throw over the middle. Headed out of there by the Colonels. A little bit of a flop there. Didn't see too much personal contact. Crusaders getting the ball in the wing, kicking it back inside for the goalie. Easy recovery for the goalie. These kind of shots, Logan, are simply just not going to fly. They're straight pop-up shots that any varsity goalie should be collecting. And that's a line drive shots on goal the Crusader offense needs right now with 16:30 in the game to win.
Is there anything to take away from that?
Main thing to take away from it is they're not getting open angles on the goal. They need to spread the defense more. They need to get their players wider, and they can't keep bunching them up in this blob. And the reason they keep popping the shots up and in is because they're in this blob. They need to spread. Spread the defense. You can work the angle and get an effective shot on goal. That's what I believe.
And that's a nice belief. That's a nice belief.
Sauce kicking from the 36-yard line. Another kick way up. That would be end up fighting for it, and Crusaders will end up winning. A little bit scrummy in the middle there. It was definitely a match between two teams that simply dislike each other. They're playing with a lot of vigor, a lot of energy, and are definitely. I think it's definitely been a tale of one team that has tried incredibly hard and played very good ball, being the Colonels, and one team that has just came out flat. Not the offensive production we need out of the Crusaders today. As that is a drive on goal by 17 for the Crusaders, or Colonels. A little bit of a cross up there, a little bit handsy. Nothing called as that ball gets out of there. Good defense there by the Crusaders. Goalie coming out of his spot, leaving just a bit risky there. If he misses that, or if the ball gets bounced, there's nobody back to defend goal if he leaves it. Fought over by midfield. Little bit handsy, nothing called. They let it play. I'm not entirely sure if I agree with that call. Ref's definitely letting it play today. Colonel's grabbing on to Caden Durrett there.
It's
Really
really
throwing up his hands in protest, but nothing comes of it.
Oh, what the heck?
It's really surprising to see. And yeah, I also thought the referee would do something about that. So I'm simply flabbergasted at this point, not to get fancy over here.
Number 10, Ryan Berkey. Number 24, Charlie Baker.
Baker on the throw-in. The header goes inbounds. Bounces out of bounds of the Crusader ball. Crusaders throw-in. Throws to Popel. Popel, not entirely sure what you're doing there, big man. Kick to the middle, way out of there. Good job at the Crusader defense not letting that pass through.
Oh!
But they end up calling a foul on St. Henry. What appears to be two Colonels bumping into each other mid-air ends up in a foul called against St. Henry.
Yeah, it is a bit insane. I do not play bowling, but if that was bowling, I would say that's a strike.
As the Colonels get a kick in. Albachon rushing forward, punches it out of there. Albachon needs to rush back to his goal, as he does. A little bit risky there by Brady Albachon as a push by Caden Durrett. Durrett, not faster than the Colonel, seems to trip over himself, knocking the ball out of bounds. Durrett less than pleased with himself that he let that happen. He had numbers. It was one-on-one. I will take many people in the state under Caden Durrett in a one-on-one break. Durrett is very fast. He's very ruthless. He's very dangerous in a one-on-one break. That'll be a yellow card on the Colonels. Tanner Robinson, the senior number 8, and it'll be his second yellow card, I believe, for the night. Again, not what you want to see out of a senior this late in the game, with 12-12 left in the match. This could be a turning point right here. Simple mistakes for the Colonels could lose them this game. You have to think, with 12-12 left in the game, they let up 2 goals in 12 minutes. The Colonels will be a very conditioned team come tomorrow.
Carrying over the crew at 5, Cascaren.
Cascaren checks in. And if you're Coach Lisler for the Crusaders, what do you take out of this game?
What I would take out of this game? That's a really good question. I would, first of all, I would try to get a bit aggressive as I can, but not too aggressive to get any yellow cards. Because according to my research, yellow cards are really bad for the game.
Oh!
Just like that, as it is.
19 hurled to the ground. No cards prevented. It'll be just a regular foul on St. Henry. Interesting deliberation for the referees and what they decipher as a yellow card and what they decipher as a regular foul.
Wonder what's going on inside their minds right
I'd
now.
like to see a little bit more consistency there, but do not see me in a green jersey down there, so we're just spectators from the stands as 24 kicks it into the middle of the pile. Attempt on goal is denied by the Crusaders. Play is blown dead.
Infraction on the Colonels. Free kick to St. Henry.
That'll be a Colonel infraction free kick by St. Henry. Moves it to Albashon. Albashon going to take this kick. Trying to get it away as much as he can. Line drive kick to Sauce, I believe that is. Shown by the Colonels. Colonel moving in possession. Sauce kicks it out of bounds.
10.5 minutes in, and I've been noticing there's a bit of a slow change in the course of this other half of the game. I do not know if I'm seeing this change, but do you see the change that I'm going through?
What exactly change are you inferring to?
Well, I'm starting to note. Well, it's kind of hard to explain, and I'm noticing a change of a bit of. How do I put this? There's a bit too of aggression in this.
Oh, definitely. You'd love to see the Crusaders, especially in these last few minutes here. Crusaders have upped the ante a little bit, which is what you'd want from a team like this, a team that's already been flat. You need them to up the ante in the last 10 minutes, see if they can get 2 goals and 9:43 left to go.
Do you think they'll score this? Let me rephrase that. Do you think they'll score this one?
Hard to tell from the way they're playing right now. If they change nothing, I'm not entirely sure, but if they change their offense to what works for them and what Coach Lisler believes works for them, I think they got a good chance here.
Handball on the Colonels.
And that is the Covcats Colonels' third handball of the game. If you're the Colonels, that's a basic mistake that you learn from whenever you are playing Pee Wee soccer. You cannot be making those mistakes and still ahead in this game. That is a testament to these Colonels, these Crusaders, and how flat they have played, that they can make these much mistakes and still be ahead. As Crusaders kick it out. Colonel's trying to push a little bit of numbers here. Crusaders end up having the numbers. Albashon moving out of his box to receive the kick. And away is Sabut to the midfield line. Goalie's going to end up getting this one. Goalie waving his guys off. He's going to end up getting this one just a bit high, just a bit far.
Ooh, and what a kick.
Off the Crusaders. And that will be a Crusader throw-in at the 45-yard line. Crusaders pushing. Colonel's getting pushed. You're the Crusaders. You have to think, when is it time for me to just dedicate everything I have to attacking? Take out your backers, take out your midfielders, put as many strikers as you can in there, and just try and score.
Speaking of the Crusaders, do you think they have a plan to probably bring it back?
Well, at this point, you have to try and bring it back. You are still in striking distance. It is a one-score game with 6 minutes left. You have to have some sort of plan here. Knowing they are a Lisler coach team, they do have some sort of idea of how they would like to come back from this. But right now, the way they're playing, it doesn't seem very evident what that plan is necessarily. Header by Colonels. Ball a little out of bounds. Throw in for the Crusaders at the 33-yard line.
Number 14, Landon Goss.
Landon Thoth checks back into the game. Thoth, the brother of Logan Thoth, the senior captain. A little bit handsy there at the midline. Nothing called. Kicks back to the keeper, and away is the kick to the midfield. Crusaders retain possession. That's Bowen kicking to the middle. Not looking terribly good for the Crusaders. Aubuchon has to save the goal a little bit wide. Would not have been an amazing end of the game for Aubuchon. Good pressure by Aubuchon, not letting him settle and get a shot. A little bit wide there on the kick. Petty on the shot.
5 minutes in, Crew 0 and Covcath 1. This may get interesting.
Still plenty of time to score for the Crusaders. Not in. You're definitely in a bit of a hurry here. You're not in panic mode necessarily. Another foul on the Colonels. Colonels been playing a little bit sloppy ball here of 3 handballs, 2 yellow flags, and several more fouls.
Guess they're going all in for it.
Interesting how you can be this sloppy but can still be winning a game by this. Again, just a team that has had a history of beating good teams like Ryle, like Highlands, like Connor.
Well, like I said earlier, anything can happen.
Shot on goal
that.
denied by the keeper.
Very close.
.344 left in the game. Boot is away. Crusaders receive it, trying to push it to the other side. It's Whittle on the spinning kick. Foul on the Crusaders. Colonel's free kick. Kick his way into Crusader back line. Crusaders keeping the ball off the ground. Out of bounds, Crusader ball.
And the Colonels are 5, Cass Karen.
Karen checked back into the game for the Colonels, for the Crusaders. Over the middle is incomplete. Kick by 6. Batted away by the Colonels. 2 minutes, around 2 minutes left. Back time 2 minutes 15 seconds.
All the Crusaders need is 1 goal.
It's looking a little bit promising here as shot on goal is denied. Fallen on by the goalie. You're definitely hitting desperation mode right here. You need a goal to win, to tie this game. If you're the Crusaders, you need to at least tie right here. You'd say right now you have to get a effective shot on goal this drive here. If you do not get an effective shot on goal this drive here, I believe this game might just be over. That is out of bounds. So, Logan, what are your main takeaways from this game? What the Crusaders can do next, keeping this home stint alive, and hopefully bring home a win for the Crusaders next time they play at home?
Well, what I can mostly take away is that kind of like what you said. The Crusaders are a bit too wide open, and I think next time they should be a bit more into it and to just try to focus on more their position type thing and try to change what type of plans they will do instead of
1
sticking
minute left
to
in the game.
instead of sticking to the one single thing.
Well, in my opinion, the one thing the Crusaders have to work on here, their defense has been pretty good this game. They kept a volatile Colonel offense to 1 point. So the defense, in my opinion, is not the issue. In my opinion, the issue is they are just simply not getting effective shots on goal. Doesn't matter how they get the shots on goal, they're just not effectively shooting on goal. As that is a Colonel throw-in, and they will eat the clock up. Final score 1-0. Colonels 1, Crusaders nothing as the clock winds down 5 seconds.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Catholic Colonels increase their record to 9-7. Head coach Jeremy Robinson moves on back home next time they play. And hopefully they can keep this winning streak alive for the Crusaders. They're back in action relatively soon.